I worked with Brett for many years at Armstrong World Industries, but a few years back, he moved from Armstrong to a packaging company. And since we had done so much work together, he realized when one of the factories in that company was having some issues and looked like it was bursting at the seams, he called me in to charter a Kaizen event. When we looked at the issue, we realized that to really affect change for this factory, we'd have to go extreme in our creativity process. So we agreed and aligned around doing a 3P event: production, preparation, process. In an event like that, what we try to do is throw out all our existing conventions about how we conduct work and design the process from scratch using lean principles, trying to take the waste completely out of it. So the goal for this event was to grow the capacity of the plant without having to move to a new facility. Um, Production preparation process is very challenging. So Brett was the only person on the team that had ever participated in one. He had participated in over a dozen with me. But the team, of course, on day one was very, very skeptical. And the methods we use to ignite creativity were foreign to just about everybody. So having them suspend their constraints while they were skeptical, they hung in there pretty well, but they were kind of challenging. And the goal was to make them think totally differently before even solving the problem. And if you know engineers like myself, we come into things thinking we already know the answer. Now, kind of midway through the first morning, maybe a little later in the day, one of the veteran team members raised his hand and said, "Hey, this step doesn't really make any sense to me. Can we just skip it and move on to solving the problem?" And if you know me, sometimes I have to give tough love, and I kind of shut down that conversation and told him that this process is designed to build creativity that we wouldn't have had on our own, and just try to hang in there with us. Now, I probably wasn't as kind as it sounds on this video, but basically he agreed, maybe a little negatively or defensively, but he thought he'd give it a shot and appreciated that. Now, as we got to day two, things started to change a bit. People started to see that this creativity process was opening their minds to possibilities. And by day three, the team saw those possibilities and energy had really shifted. People were getting excited about what was possible, and they were willing to try some really, what they would have thought were outrageous ideas. Through that, two breakthrough concepts emerged. And one was related to keeping everything in the existing building. And the second one was kind of a longer term strategy of really designing the whole new process in a bigger facility that they could design from scratch. And one thing I didn't mention earlier was they were leasing a building, so they're kind of subject to the constraints of the landlord and just the way the building was structured. They really couldn't make major physical changes to it. Now, at the end of the week, they had two really well-defined options that they could present to their corporate leadership, and it was energizing. And Brett really had credibility grow in the eyes of his team for bringing in this new approach to thinking strategically. Sometimes you just have to hang in there, trust the process, and new possibilities may appear. I hope this story provided you with some inspiration to revisit your own processes. I have a lot more I'd like to share. Head over to pi-partners.com to learn how I can help. And check back from time to time for more Kaizen stories.